there exists a mind unlike any other, one that never clamors for attention, never demands applause, yet whose silent presence unsettles the very foundations of the world it inhabits. This mind does not conform to the fleeting distractions that enslave most. It dwells instead in realms so profound that the average consciousness cannot even glimpse their edges. It is a mind that observes without interruption, questions without ceasing, and understands without compromise. While the restless masses are caught in the shallow currents of noise, spectacle, and immediate gratification, this mind moves with the deliberate patience of a shadow cast by a dying sun, unseen, inevitable, and impossible to stop. It is neither reactionary nor impulsive. It is the silent storm gathering before the tempest. This mind's strength is drawn from solitude, not the loneliness that corrodes, but the sacred isolation where truth is wrested from the chaos of illusion. Here, away from the distractions of social approval and the insipid chatter of the crowd, the deep thinker hones his vision and sharpens his perception. His is not a superficial intelligence that thrives on consensus or applause. It is a relentless pursuit of reality itself, even when reality is brutal and unkind. Carl Jung, a mind that peered deeply into the abyss of the human psyche, once articulated a truth that resonates with this very temperament. In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. The deep thinker is the one who dwells in this tension between chaos and order, mapping the invisible structures beneath the world's surface illusions. While others accept narratives spoon-fed by convenience and comfort, he dismantles these constructs to expose the raw machinery of existence. The burden of such insight is both profound and isolating. The deep thinker sees the strings that pull society's marionettes, recognizes the games played behind polite smiles, and hears the unspoken motives beneath carefully crafted words. Yet, to see this clearly is to live apart, for most recoil from discomfort and prefer ignorance as their shield. It is a tragic irony that those who perceive the world most deeply often find themselves the most misunderstood and isolated. The masses mistake silence for aloofness, observation for judgment, and introspection for detachment. But the deep thinker is not removed from the world out of disdain. He is removed because he must preserve his clarity in a realm designed to confuse and distract. His mind constructs intricate frameworks, mental cathedrals built from paradox, contradiction, and relentless questioning. Where others see disorder, he uncovers patterns. Where others settle for surface explanations, he unearths the foundations. Such depth is not born from arrogance, but from a profound commitment to truth, even when that truth demands the shattering of comforting illusions. To be a deep thinker is to be a radical in a world that favors the facile and the fleeting. It is to reject the tyranny of immediacy and the seduction of consensus. History remembers these figures. Socrates, condemned for challenging the comfortable ignorance of his city. Galileo, persecuted for revealing truths inconvenient to power. Nietzsche, who dared to gaze into the abyss and brought back a mirror none wished to see. They were not merely philosophers. They were psychological warriors. Their weapons were questions sharper than swords and ideas heavier than armies. They fought not with violence, but with relentless mental clarity that eroded falsehood and forced society to confront its own shadows. In our present age, where noise drowns out wisdom and superficiality masquerades as profundity, the role of the deep thinker is more vital and perilous than ever. To think deeply is to swim against the current of distraction, to reject the manufactured narratives that serve only to pacify and control. The deep thinker understands that truth is often uncomfortable, that insight requires sacrifice, and that clarity comes at the cost of connection. Relationships may fray under the weight of such intensity. Casual interactions become hollow echoes that no longer satisfy. But the deep thinker chooses this path willingly, knowing that the alternative, being lost in the shallows, is a slow death of the soul. This commitment to depth demands discipline unlike any other. It is not a passive state, but a continuous, deliberate effort to resist the pull of ease and embrace the rigor of reflection. It requires courage to face one's own shadows without flinching, to question inherited beliefs, and to stand firm in solitude when the world insists on conformity. Such minds are often accused of coldness, arrogance, or detachment. These accusations reveal more about the accusers than the accused. To the deep thinker, emotions are not chains but data, fluid and transient phenomena to be observed, understood, and transcended. This detachment does not mean absence of feeling, but mastery over it. Understanding the psychology of deep thinkers is to recognize a profound truth about the human condition, that the path to wisdom is necessarily lonely, arduous, and often misunderstood, but it is also the path that leads to freedom, from illusion, from manipulation, and from the tyranny of superficial existence. If you find yourself drawn to silence, to contemplation, and to the pursuit of truth beyond the crowd's noise, know that you walk a path trod by the greatest minds in history. You carry a burden that few can bear, but with it comes a power no one can take away. The deep thinker's world is not confined by the limits imposed by society's shallow metrics. He measures life not in fleeting moments or trivial achievements, but in the depth of understanding and the clarity of insight he extracts from experience. To him, a day wasted on surface distractions is a day lost in a desert without water, parched, meaningless, and sterile. This perspective forces him to live differently. His time becomes sacred, parceled out with precision, and guarded against the endless demands of triviality. He resists the ceaseless pull of social media, the endless notifications, and the numbing ritual of entertainment designed to fragment attention and cloud judgment. Instead, he embraces silence and solitude as vessels of knowledge and transformation. Yet, this choice isolates him from the masses who mistake participation for presence and noise for relevance. While they chase approval, the deep thinker turns inward, cultivating a fortress of reflection that shields him from the cacophony of the world. It is here, in this sanctum, that his mind is free to roam the uncharted territories of thought, free from the tyranny of distraction. History offers countless examples of such minds. Leonardo da Vinci, who spent lifetimes dissecting the mechanics of nature and human anatomy, not for fame, but to understand the very fabric of existence. Nikola Tesla, whose visionary ideas were dismissed and ridiculed in his time, yet laid the groundwork for the modern world's electric heartbeat. These men were not just geniuses, they were deep thinkers, unwilling to accept the surface, compelled to probe the depths. But depth is not merely the province of the great. Every human being possesses the potential to cultivate this mindset, though few have the courage to walk its lonely path. The deep thinker's psychology is one of relentless curiosity paired with unwavering discipline, a combination that demands both intellectual rigor and emotional resilience. It is a psychology that requires one to confront uncomfortable truths about the self, to peer honestly into the mirror of one's own psyche, acknowledging flaws, contradictions, and shadows that others prefer to ignore. It demands the dismantling of illusions about identity, morality, and society, and the construction of a new framework grounded in authentic understanding. To embody the psychology of a deep thinker is to accept a paradoxical existence, one of profound loneliness coupled with immense strength, of relentless questioning paired with steady conviction, and of silent observation leading to impactful expression. If you hear within yourself the call to depth, the hunger for clarity, and the courage to walk the untrodden path, know that you are joining a lineage of thinkers who have shaped humanity's highest achievements and its deepest truths. You are not alone, though your journey is yours alone to undertake.